Hi, I'm Jessica Drummond with jessicadrummond.com, and I'm here today to introduce you ladies to something really surprising. Your menstrual cycle might help you out at work. I know this sounds crazy because most of you think that your menstrual cycle is a complete annoyance. It's a pain in the neck, you get cramps, you have to be prepared for it, it's messy, it's just a complete bother. I used to feel that way, but now I understand a lot more about what's going on under the hood, biochemically you might say. And I've learned that understanding the ebbs and flows of the hormones throughout the whole month of the menstrual cycle, and not just during our periods, can actually help us to be more productive and give awesome presentations, and even when to ask for a raise at work. So I know you're crazy busy, you're chronically stressed, you're not even in your 40s, and your libido is burned out, you're having painful periods, your PCOS is flaring up, you're having fibroids. It's time to get everything back in balance. And here's one more reason to stay motivated on that track. Let me tell you a little bit about how I look at the menstrual cycle. The way I look at it, each week of the 4 weeks of our menstrual cycle, we have different superpowers. Who knew? So let's start with day one. Day one is your first day of bleeding on your period. Day one is when estrogen and testosterone slowly begin to rise and the receptors become more available, more sensitive to testosterone. So when you get your little testosterone bump, you can feel it more. And so starting with day one, your courage and your creativity steadily creep up. You immediately start feeling a little bit better than you did at the end of week 4 when all of the hormones were very, very low. As you step into your real power window, days 9 through 13, estrogen and testosterone levels and sensitivity are at their peak. And your creativity, your courage, your charisma, is what I like to call it, is at its absolute peak. Plus, you should be almost distracted by your libido during that time. If you are not, it is time to really focus on making the changes that you can make nutritionally and in your lifestyle to get these hormones back in balance. It's worth it just to experience that window of days 9 to 13 to its fullest. So that is when you are absolutely your most charismatic. Get up in the morning, go to work prepared, rock that presentation, ask for a raise, negotiate a contract, make more sales, whatever it is that you find most challenging in your business, in your work, use days 9 through 13 to go out and rock it. Now, after day 13, around 14 and 15 is when ovulation hits, and your body's priority is a little bit different. Your estrogen and testosterone levels drop down, and in a couple of days estrogen will start creeping back up again, but testosterone stays pretty low for the rest of your cycle. Instead, a new player comes on the scene called progesterone. Progesterone is a hormone of bonding. I like to think of it as a hormone of empathy. So if you're in a more creative job where you're doing more introverted writing or program development, project development, and you want your programs, products, and ideas to really resonate with others, or you want to really be empathetic with a coworker that you might be having challenges with, week 3, especially towards the end of week 3 and the early part of week 4, is when your superpower of connection is most engaged, when there's a relatively high level of estrogen giving you more creativity, and the highest levels of progesterone giving you more empathy and ability to connect and bond with others. One thing to note is that if you are on the birth control pill Research shows that the estrogen, the creativity that you gain from higher levels of estrogen is actually blunted. So be aware of that when choosing your birth control methods. Moving on to week 4. This is generally known as the kind of bitchy PMS week, right? But I want to change your perspective even on week 4. Even if everything is completely imbalanced, you are not going to feel as motivated and out there and deeply creative as you did in the first 3 weeks of your cycle. You are going to feel more tired and more introspective. Problems might bubble to the surface that you really want to keep under covers, like, oh, I need my new assistant isn't performing the way I would like her to, or I'm having some problems in my relationships with others. Week 4 is the time to listen to those nagging negative thoughts and brainstorm ways that you can really address them in the coming weeks. Don't ignore them. They're real. Your body and your mind are trying to tell you something. But this is also a very important time of understanding and reclaiming the value of self-care. Week 4 is the ideal opportunity to schedule your massage, schedule your facial, schedule your laughing, hilarious movie night with your best friends. It is just as important for a woman's body to have restorative, resting time in her life as it is to have those days 9 to 13 of get out and go. Without the restorative time of eating especially well, taking wonderful care of yourself, you can't optimize those power days. So don't waste week 4. Look ahead in your calendar, schedule your restorative activities. Even if you just go to bed early every night, you will find that in week 2 your charisma is even higher. I hope I have taken this opportunity to shift your perspective a bit on your hormonal and menstrual cycles. This is a time for women, these decades when we're cycling, of really taking control of our power and using it in business and work and life. And I want the very best for you, and I want you to understand. I want you to know as you walk into your office next week that your hormones actually have your back. It is an advantage to be a woman. Use all of the physical advantages that you have been given to go out and rock your career and rock your life.